And here we are at Atlantic Canada's first Seafood Industry Innovation Summit, sitting with one of the organizers. I have to tell you, I've been in a lot of conversations over the last couple of days, and they're fantastic. The level of collaboration, the cooperation that's happening in the room is phenomenal. Everybody is leaning into this whole idea of that we don't have to reinvent the wheel here. We can start sharing some best practices. So, Heather, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Okay, so I'm Heather Burke. I'm the director of the Center for Aquaculture and Seafood Development at the Fisheries and Marine Institute. The center is an industrial response research center. So we focus on providing solutions to the seafood and aquaculture industries to make their processes more efficient, introduce new technologies, introduce new ways of using raw materials, promoting full utilization, green technologies, those types of opportunities. And we have a mix of academic and technical staff that work with our industry partners to look for the solutions for challenges that processors would have in the industry.
So industry identifies a challenge, something that they're struggling with. They bring it to you, and you apply those academic resources, both and the technical people as well, to kind of help industry work through that while they continue going about the business that they're doing.
Exactly.
And so they've got you on the team, working hand in glove with them. It must be fascinating to be able to solve problems for industry, but equally provide students with that whole experiential learning piece. It's a great collaboration.
It is, and that's I'm actually glad you brought up the student piece, because we often we don't realize the impact that what we're doing has on the student population here at the Institute. We do have graduate student programs within our center for focusing on full utilization of our resources. We have Dr. Topeka Dave, who's one of our research scientists. She's got a program on bioprocessing for basically taking all of your unutilized material from seafood processing and creating value from that. So we do take graduate students, masters, PhDs, as well as postdocs, and they work in the center. We have a number of postdocs working in our center right now, and they've been helping organize parts of this conference, and they've been running some of the technical sessions with our staff. We mentioned the technical staff that we have as well. All of our technical staff have come from industry, so they have anywhere from 3 to 20 years experience working in industry, and then they come and work in our center. So we get that interaction between the academic community and industry, and working together, we're able to solve solutions that we probably wouldn't even be working on if we didn't have that deep connection with the industry.
Yeah, that is impressive. When you've got people that have actually done the business alongside people that theoretically are looking at things through different lenses, that's a perfect scenario for good success right there. You talked a little bit about byproduct, finding value in that, and co-product is a term that I've heard being used of late, which is a great way to use it. Tell me a little bit about the value of that and what you're seeing now.
So we're seeing a lot more interest in full utilization, and I guess there's a number of reasons for that. One is environmental sustainability. Another is, processors pay for that raw material, so they're paying for the whole crab. If they're only processing and using 65% of that, then they've paid for 35% that now they have to discard. So there's a lot more interest and a lot more knowledge now about what you can do with that leftover material rather than ocean dumping or landfilling, which is what has historically been done. So the value there will range from, there could be low value options, which will take care of a waste problem, may not make a whole lot of revenue, but at least you're taking care of that waste and not contributing to an environmental problem. So you could be turning it into compost or fish meal or things like that. On the higher end of the spectrum, we're working on extracting higher value where you're entering functional foods or nutraceutical markets, and eventually we'd like to be able to do pharmaceutical grade products. So right now we've got a team of researchers that are working on sea cucumber nutraceuticals. We're working on chitin extracts from shellfish, protein hydrolysates. Those are all higher value than a traditional compost or fish meal. And to give you an idea of the price range, if we look at chitin and chitosan, which is a polysaccharide that makes up the structural component of crab and shrimp shells. On the low end of the spectrum, it's used for wastewater treatment. That will get you about $40 per kilogram in the market. If you're able to move up and produce a nutraceutical such as a fat loss diet pill, which chitosan is used quite significantly for that, then you're into probably the $100 per kilo range. And then as you move up to medical and biomedical applications, you're into tens of thousands of dollars per kilo. So the range and
so the shells are more valuable than
the shells, if depending on the market and how it's processed, could be more valuable than the seafood itself.
Right, yeah.
And we're seeing that trend in some other species as well. Everybody points to Iceland having this model with the Icelandic cod model, 100% utilization. I've seen you call them pictograms, I think is what they call them, and it says the traditional fish model and the 100% fish model. The traditional fish model, they're saying, if you're only producing fillet, you're only producing cod liver and maybe a bit of fish feed, you're probably getting $40 per kilo or per fish. Under the full utilization model, it's thousands of dollars per fish is what the market price would be. So it's tremendous value in things that we haven't fully utilized, and industry is very interested in moving towards that model. And some of our industry partners have already, they're out in front and they've started this process.
Wow, that's fascinating, right out of the gate. Give me your lens on artificial intelligence, digitization, another big buzzword these days, no matter what sector you're in, but certainly a theme of the conference as well. Give me a lens on that.
Yeah, so artificial intelligence, I'm still learning about artificial intelligence, and I wish I was better at digitization because last night my speaking notes were handwritten, so I could have used digitization. But the artificial intelligence, robotics, automation piece, that a lot of people get nervous when you start talking about that. And that's, what is it? It seems foreign to me, and is it going to take my job? But the way that I view it is, it's not there to replace people, it's there to help people do their job better. And it can help improve processing efficiencies, it can help fill labor shortages where there are labor shortages, it can help take processes that are very manual and very demanding physically and make those easier for people so that when people go to work, it's more ergonomic for them. So I see it as a tool that will help the industry. It will create jobs. It will create new jobs as well, because now you're not looking at physical laborers. You're probably looking more at engineers and technologists and computer IT people. Thank God for the computer IT people. This conference would not have run very smoothly without the support of IT.
Right.
So I think it's a tool that will really help the industry.
Yeah.
And we're still learning about it, and I know it's a little bit, it can be intimidating, and it's still, some things are intimidating to me. And we have a crab robot down in our pilot plant, and I'm amazed at what our engineering team has been able to do with some robotics and camera systems and conveyor systems, and it looks very simple when you see it moving, but the design and the work behind that, it's fascinating. So those are the types of jobs that we need young people to be interested in. Like, how do you program a robot? How do you take it apart and, something fails inside inside the machine, how do you replace that? How do you fix that? How do you get that going?
Yeah.
And I've got a fantastic team here, I have to tell you. I've been hearing that, everything's running so smoothly with the conference. I'm glad you see the smoothness, because we do have some technical glitches because we are running automated equipment. We're running robotic systems. We're running deep chill ice slurry systems, and it's very technical getting all of that functioning and working properly to run something like this. So my technical team has been behind the scenes, and I know that there are issues that we've been dealing with that nobody else has seen. So just the IT portion, the technical portion, the engineering portion, it's just fascinating.
Right.
So I think the industry there's a lot of new things I think that are going to come from these types of events and collaborations where we can show industry what the possibilities are, and we have the technical team that can talk to them about how it works and simplifying it so that they can understand how these complicated pieces of equipment can actually benefit their industry.
You know, Heather, one thing that jumps to mind for me is a talent pipeline. How do we ensure there's enough people in this industry moving forward? And the way that you so perfectly articulated all of the various things that are happening, they speak very much to the next generation that's coming through. Robotics and artificial intelligence and extraction tools and all of these things. That this is not dull and dirty work. This is exciting, innovative, creative work that I would argue is probably making the globe a better place. They're concerned about environmental issues. They don't want to damage the ocean floor. They don't want to damage. These are all things that are going to resonate very well. Must be exciting for you to be front and center in this.
Exciting and a bit intimidating at times too. I won't lie. I mean, it was when we started putting this together 2 weeks ago. I was thinking, oh no, are we actually going to be able to pull this off? Because there's so much that we wanted to be able to showcase, and we have a very tight agenda. But we've had a fantastic organizing team, and as I said, the people behind the scenes that are helping make this run smoothly, they make me look extremely good. So thank you.
Heather, there's one thing I'd be remiss if I didn't mention. What I'm noticing here is a wonderful collaboration of government, industry, and academia. You've got government ministers here from from the Atlantic provinces. You've got obviously held in an academic institution, and a lot of industry partners. Everybody coming together, knowing that working together makes everybody stronger, and this rising tide floats all boats around here. Tell me the importance of that.
That's extremely important. I mean, those are the people that run this industry, and if we're going to change the direction of what the future of this industry is going to look like, all of those players need to be collaborating. They need to be discussing these issues. We can't work in our silos. We've done that for years, and we know that doesn't work because we have a solution over here, say in Newfoundland, but we're not going to share that with PEI. That's not going to help the industry. And I think the mentality now is that collaboration needs to happen. We need to do it as a region because Atlantic Canada has its own unique challenges. And as you said earlier, I mean, the strength in the numbers, when you put different thought leaders around an issue, I mean, the solutions, I'm going to say, are probably endless. And I think we've got the right people here to have those conversations, to start those dialogues. And I've already been approached by a number of government and industry folk and academia who have ideas for projects or collaborations and how we can tackle specific issues. So whether it's a waste utilization issue, if it's a processing efficiency issue, if it's using greener tech to produce what they're already producing. So those types of dialogues are happening, and the mix of our government and industry supporters and partners and our technical people all here on the ground, it's just been fantastic.
Well, I tell you, the return on investment for this summit, the first summit here in Atlantic Canada, is playing out before our eyes. So congratulations, and thank you for your leadership in organizing it.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.